So words are obviously a super powerful thing, and we've talked about how words literally bring life, right? And I love that that verse from yesterday. It talked about the right words bring satisfaction. And another verse in Proverbs, right here, Proverbs 15 verse 4, it says, gentle words are a tree of life, right? Another thing about words bringing life. But then I love this part. A deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. And the first time when I read that, I remember, and I have it highlighted here in my Bible because, well, first of all, it's challenging, of course, the words that we use, like how are we using our words? But this thing right here, a deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. I think when we think of our tongue being deceitful, we think like when we're lying to a person. Like if I know that something is false and I'm saying it, I'm deceiving you. And that sounds so much more malicious and like evil almost, right? Like a deceitful tongue. But I think really, think about this, like the enemy deceives us on what we think is valuable and on what our value system is. And so if we are deceived as to what our value system is, that means that we will speak deceit without realizing it. The things that we talk about, the things that we affirm, if they are not aligned with truth, then actually what we're speaking is deceitful and it can crush someone's spirit. I know for me sometimes, like there's been times where I'm trying to like speak life, but I'm almost saying the wrong things because I'm valuing the things of this world rather than actually like valuing a person, rather than valuing what's inside them.
And that's something that's a little uncomfortable for me, is speaking into someone's character and speaking life over their character, because that wasn't something that was really modeled to me growing up. I think it's quite uncomfortable. You know what I mean? To like, for even I'm saying my parents to like speak encouragement over me because they didn't have it either. So it's just generation after generation of not knowing how to like speak life like that over your kids and affirm the wrong things, whether it
but
be
you,
like
you specifically said character. And I think what's important here is that you actually were encouraged in some ways, right?
I mean, a lot for like my athletic ability or my appearance, you know, being beautiful or whatever.
Or for performance, for the way.
Yeah.
And I think, so, and this is exactly what I think I'm saying here is that I think when you say a deceitful tongue, it's not as like evil and malicious as we think. I don't think it's as obvious as we think. I think to say a deceitful tongue crushes the spirit, like think about this. When you do nothing but speak into someone's performance, you look the right way today. You did a good job today. What happens when you fail? Right? What happens in the next game when you lose?
Or when your beauty is fleeting.
When your beauty it's fleeting because you're getting older and like things look different. Like when you are speaking these things, to put your identity into the wrong things is actually something that, like this says, it can crush the spirit, right? It can crush our spirit. And so when we start affirming things in people, even though it might sound right, it might feel good, it might seem like, oh, like I'm not saying we can't encourage people because they did a good job, but I'm saying that when our value is only in performance, and then therefore we only speak value over another person because of their performance, that is something that maybe in the moment doesn't feel like it crushes your spirit, but if you're encouraging somebody that their identity is in their performance and their ability to accomplish a task correctly, then all of a sudden when those tasks aren't accomplished the right way, when you don't win the game, when you don't look the way you're supposed to, it's like all of a sudden your whole identity falls apart, right? And what a powerful thing to realize, that there is something about speaking into the value of a person, into, like you said, their character, into who they are and who they can continue to be. Again, it's not to demonize encouraging people. It's not to demonize like saying that someone did a good job. We can do that. It's just that can't be where value lies.
Yeah. And that's something that was like mind blowing to me in the beginning when I remember first reading an article like about not speaking into someone's like appearance, like you said, or performance, something that they're good at, but rather their character. Like, wow, you're really smart, or wow, you're super thoughtful, or wow, that was just really kind what you did. You know what I mean? Affirming that rather than oh, wow, you like crushed it in the game or whatever.
Well, I think that's why we see a lot of athletes who end up getting injured kind of completely losing themselves after that, right? Because all their encouragement is, God has big plans for your life. You were made for this. This is the thing. Like, in other words, you were made to perform well and win. So when all of a sudden you tear something in your leg or break something and now you can't play anymore.
Yeah, your whole world falls apart.
The whole world falls apart because, wait, but this is what I was made for. This is how God uses me. And I think that's not true.
I know.
God wants to show up in your gifts, right? Because everyone has stuff that they're good at. and we can involve God in that. But the whole point is to lead people to Jesus, not to lead people into thinking that we're awesome and that we can do a good job. Like, look at me, I can do a good job.
Right.
That's not the point of life.
Yeah.
And
It
how
actually should be the opposite. I'm doing a terrible job, and God is still moving through me and doing
people
powerful
see God
things.
more in that. And I think that's the thing is like when we can recognize, when we can have the right value system, and that's why I like also the last verse that we read also in Proverbs, it says the right words bring satisfaction. Like how cool that we have the ability, and not just the ability, the responsibility to pour into people, to speak the right words, to affirm the right things that they might find life, and that rather than our deceived tongue, so maybe not just saying a deceitful tongue, first we are deceived and then our tongues speak deceitfully. But when our value system is correct, that we actually have the ability to not crush someone's spirit, but to build their spirit up and to call them into the fullness of who they're supposed to be.
It's really good.